Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I have another film review for you today and it is the sort of sequel to Cloverfield, 10 Cloverfield Lane. Now I say sort of because there's all sorts of reasons why this isn't a direct sequel to Cloverfield, but there's also some reasons why it is a sequel to Cloverfield, and you'll get arguments either way. So the best thing to do is to watch the movie yourself and make your own mind up. But there is, I think there is a definite connection there, even though you couldn't really class this as a direct sequel. So, 10 Cloverfield Lane stars John Goodman and Mary Elizabeth Winstead and John Gallagher Jr. And it is the tale of a young woman played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead who, while driving along a darkened road, listens to and hears all this commotion on the radio, and then for whatever reason she ends up having some kind of accident, and the next thing she knows she wakes up in some underground bunker with a busted leg and with her leg handcuffed to the bed. And naturally she's absolutely terrified. She thinks she's been abducted and kidnapped. And then we meet John Goodman's character, who he basically explains to her that he's rescued her from the accident, fixed her up, and that they can't go outside because there's been some kind of attack on US soil, and the air is not breathable, and it will not be breathable for some time. So they're basically stuck down in this bunker together. Now, she doesn't accept this initially, and it's hard to see why. I mean, it's hard to see why she doesn't believe it. Really, I mean, it's easy to see why she doesn't believe it, because John Goodman's character is such a shifty character, really, and he doesn't seem overly sincere, and it just seems off. And in that scenario, anybody would want to know the truth and see the proof for themselves. So there's another guy in the bunker as well, played by John Gallagher Jr., who kind of forced his way into the bunker. He knew the God John Goodman character. He knew he had a bunker there, and he managed to force his way into the bunker when all this was going down outside. And at dinner one evening, a couple of days into her time in the bunker, she manages to try to make a quick getaway. She steals his keys, she hits him over the head with a bottle, and she charges up the stairs to try and get out. And there she sees for herself, really, that actually what he could be saying is true. She sees some evidence through the window that actually what could be happening is telling the truth, and it's really destroys her, really. It crushes her. And then you kind of treat it to a montage where they all start learning to get along, and all happy and jolly. They play jigsaws, board games, eating meals together. All seems okay. And then it shifts to the next phase of the movie, and that's the part I'm not going to go into. But needless to say, I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the Cloverfield film. So I've taken my time to watch this because it's not something that I've really been overly keen to watch. And 20 minutes into this movie, I was seriously questioning whether this was a good decision to watch the movie, because I wasn't enjoying it. I was finding it a little bit frustrating, not a lot happening, and it was getting on my nerves a little bit. But then, about the time where she makes her attempt to make a getaway, which I talked about earlier, it really picks up then. And it turns into this taut, tense thriller, with really, really brilliant central performances, in particular John Goodman and Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Now, John Goodman, he played this role to perfection. He was so sinister, and you didn't know where his mind was at sometimes. You didn't know if he was calm or if he was explosive or any wrong word and he could snap. He played it wonderfully well, John Goodman, and he's such a great actor. And Mary Elizabeth Winstead played this character that was so vulnerable initially and almost becomes Ellen Ripley by the end. So it really, really did pick up, and I'm not going to spoil anything else in regards to what happens. You're going to have to find that out for yourself because it's worth watching it just for that. But the only thing I would say is the only connection that I can see other than the title with the first Cloverfield is something to do with satellites, and that there are all sorts of theories out on the web as to what else it is, but that's the only one I could find. But yeah, I really enjoyed this.